Alrighty YouTube fam, what is going on? Today's video is gonna be about new rider or beginner rider tips and tricks. Now this can be for anybody that is planning on getting a bike or already has a bike, but regardless whether you have a year experience or no experience, this video should definitely help you. Now a couple disclaimers real quick. There is going to be some slight hypocrisy in this video. For those of you that don't know what hypocrisy is, it's basically when somebody says something but then goes and does something different, right? So for example, one of my tips and tricks is going to be guy, you know, all the gear all the time. Well, I go out in Nike sweats and tennis shoes, so I don't practice what I preach, you know, that makes me a hypocrite. So, second disclaimer, I only have a year of riding experience, so that does not make me a professional rider. Everything that you hear in this video, take with a grain of salt. I am in no way professional. I do have some slight experience, so I can't tell you what I've been through, what I think helps me, and what I think will help other riders. Now, like I said, if you are a beginner rider, if you are planning on getting a bike, or if you've had a bike for quite a while now and you just want to see if there's anything that you missed or you want to get caught up on anything, then definitely stick around and watch this video. I do have my phone pulled up right here with my notes. I'm not a genius, so I can't memorize what I'm gonna say. But anyway, so my first tip, and I'm gonna kind of try and do it in chronological order. Guys, see the airplane? It's like sideways. What the hell? Doing a U-turn? I'm gonna try to do it in chronological order based off of, like, you know, when you would start doing this, blah, blah, blah. So first of all, it's gonna be a bike. A lot of people will suggest that you start on a 300, or a lot will suggest that you start on a 600. My suggestion, oh fuck it, we'll go straight. My suggestion would be to start on a 300. I started riding on a Ninja 250. Yes, my bike was slow. I said in my first video, I think, that the top speed I went on that was 99 miles per hour. That's okay, you know. The speed limit, I think the fastest speed limit in my area is 70 miles per hour. Now, unless you live in Germany and you can ride that highway where it's got no speed limit, then by all means, get yourself an Ninja H2 and start ripping that throttle wherever you go. But for a beginner rider, I suggest you get a 250 or a 300. Honda 250s, maybe not. Now the Kawasaki Ninja 250, that was a good bike. The Ninja 300, however, probably, in my opinion, the best starter bike, hands down. Now I do believe, brand new this year, Kawasaki said, you know what, we're moving up, no more 300s, we're gonna do 400. So obviously you can't get a brand new 300 anymore. They still do have 2017, so that you can buy. Now obviously you can buy them used, blah blah blah, but I would suggest definitely starting on a smaller bike. Now there's a couple reasons for that, right? If you start on a big bike, you might fuck up, right? A 600cc bike, I'm sure you hear all the time, if you rip the throttle too hard, you're gonna loop it, 12 o'clock wheelie, some shit like that, and you're gonna get fucked up. Yeah, that could be true. It depends what bike you get. Personally, with this bike, I haven't had that issue at all. I don't think my front wheel has ever come off the ground, even an inch. But that's not the point, you know. It's still the fact that you are a beginner rider, and if it's the very first time that you have ridden a bike, there's gonna be a lot that you don't know, you know. You're not gonna be able to, you know, give it nice throttle play or nice clutch play. You're not gonna have that kind of control over it. So with that being said, a smaller bike is definitely a good bike to start on. Now, there are cruisers that have, you know, 1000cc engines that might not go that fast. You know, a cruiser, you're probably not gonna wheelie it if you do anything back. So if you are planning on getting a cruiser for your first bike, by all means go all out there, get a powerful bike. You know, the best thing about having power is not being able to go fast, it's being able to get out of a sticky situation quicker, right? So yeah, sometimes a small bike might not be good. Now, there are people that will say definitely never start on a 300, only start on a 600. I disagree with them. Yeah, you might be able to learn a lot more on a 600 as far as, you know, different speeds and all that go, but you can still learn a lot on a smaller bike. I learned a lot of stuff on my 250. Now, there are some things that I didn't start doing until I did get my 600, but as far as it goes for people just getting a bike for their very first bike, definitely go with 250, 300, 400, I guess, if you want to go ahead and get a 2018 model, but I would definitely suggest keeping it low. Now, if you do want something with more power, the 650cc class engines are probably going to be more friendly for you. They do have more cc's than, say, a 600cc Super Sport, but the 650s, while they have more displacement, they have less torque, less horsepower. You know, they're not made for going as fast as a Super Sport is. Now, that doesn't mean they won't go fast. You know, I haven't looked at the numbers, so I don't know exactly how fast they will go, but they will go, you know, and it would probably be a lot more helpful if you got in a sticky situation. So my next tip, you've got your nice bike, you know, you got the bike that you think suits you the most, you're comfortable with it. Do not take it on the street yet. Maybe a parking lot, but not the street. The first thing you need to do after you get your bike is go and sign up for an MSF course. Now, you can do this without even having a bike. For those of you that don't know, by the way, the MSF is the Motorcycle Safety Foundation. Whenever I first started wanting to ride, my dad said that he wanted me to take the course first so I could see if it was something that I want to go through, so I can learn all the proper techniques, all the, you know, rules, I guess you would call them, in order for me to be a better and safer rider. And, you know, I wasn't opposed to it. Yeah, it's not free, it costs a little bit of money, but I think it was like, I want to say I did it for like $54, which is nothing, you know. So I went and I signed up for the MSF course, and when you get there, if you don't have your own bike, they have some, the one that I went to, they had these little 250cc Suzukis. They were old bikes. They weren't the best, they were kind of crappy, to be honest, but it was still a bike, and it was still something that I could learn on, you know. It's not like I was just standing there watching. At least I was getting on a bike. So the MSF course is going to be your best friend when you want to start riding. They will teach you everything you need to know. It's both written test and riding test, right? So the one that I went to, now I'm not sure how all of them work, you know, they might not all work in the same way, but the one that I did was a 2-day course on the weekend. And so the first day, basically all you do is sit in a room and go over PowerPoints and take a test. Now, halfway through the second day, or the first day, you take your test, and then you all go outside and get on bikes. So it's a fast-paced learning class. Whenever I got my driver's license just for cars, I think it was a whole like 6 weeks or some shit, which is absurd. I mean, it was so repetitive. I mean, it was boring. All the stuff that we learned in those 6 weeks, we could have done in 2 days easy. So the MSF course is definitely your best friend. Those 2 days are nothing. Now, I believe, I'm not 100% sure about all states, but in Texas where I live, you have to take that course to ride. You gotta get the little endorsement on your driver's license in order for you to be able to legally ride your bike on the streets. So I'm not sure what it's like everywhere. That should be a law all around the world, you know. You can never go wrong with learning more stuff. Holy crap, you you guys see all this dirt flying up in the air? It's all getting in my mouth and my eyes. But so definitely take the MSF course. All right, next tip. So you've got your bike, you've done the MSF course. Now what? Get some gear. So I believe the MSF course doesn't let you take the course unless you have some sort of jacket, some sort of long pants, and gloves. Now you can wear tennis shoes, you can wear jeans, and you can wear just a regular, you know, hoodie, but you have to have something. They don't let you do it in a short sleeve shirt with booty shorts on, barehanded. You have to have something on. So there are many websites that you can look at to get good gear. I think one of the most known is Revzilla. That's where I went to get all my gear. Now there might be stores near you that you can just go to. I would highly recommend going to a store near you and finding gear there. That is the best bet, but I would definitely recommend that you get good gear. Now I do believe a lot of countries in the world require you to have gear before you can ride. I know in America you don't have to ride with gear. Until you're 21 though, you have to have a helmet on. But after that, you don't have to wear gear at all. And it's kind of sad. I see people out here all the time, especially cruiser riders, that just have a pair of goggles on and a bandana. Well, what the fuck do you expect that to do? Yeah, it might stop dirt from getting in your eyes, but if you get in a wreck, you're still gonna get your head fucking smashed in. I mean, it's just absolutely stupid. And if you're watching this video and you don't wear a helmet, fuck off, wear a helmet. I mean, it is the stupidest thing ever not to wear a helmet when you ride. Like, it should be illegal everywhere. Now, I know in England specifically, as you know, I was born in England, so I'm a little bit familiar with the laws. I'm not 100% familiar with them, obviously, because I haven't been there in 10 years and I haven't taken the time to learn the laws. But you do have to wear gear in England. My cousin rides in England and he always wears his gear. So definitely get gear. Get a nice helmet with nice airflow, nice aerodynamics. The helmet is the most important piece of gear that you can put on your body. It is the one thing that will probably save your life. Now, good gloves is also a good thing. If you don't want blisters on your hands, definitely get gloves. The pair of gloves that I used to have, they were like $7 or something like that. The palms actually started to rip. So I think I still have them at home that I can show you. One of them is just completely torn up. And it's this hand. I think it's from pulling the clutch all the time, all the constant like stretching and unstretching, whatever. So definitely get good pieces of gear. A nice jacket is great. I believe it's called the Icon Wireform or something like that. Now this is a textile jacket. It's got the pads in it and everything, but it is made specifically for hot weather. In Texas, it doesn't usually get as cold as it has been. Now it did come with a second layer on the inside that I can zip into it whenever I want, which is fantastic. I mean, in the cold weather, I'll just zip that into it and put a long sleeve shirt on underneath and I'm fine. And then in hot weather, this gives me enough airflow to where, you know, the wind cools me down. Matter of fact, it's pretty windy today. I don't know if you can hear me too well. Now boots, I do have a nice pair of boots at home that I can wear whenever I want to. Now I don't really wear them all too often. I also have a pair of like black pants. They're not actual riding pants, they're basically jeans. I think they're called joggers actually. So I just wear those with the boots. Now obviously the boots aren't gonna look too nice with my Nike sweatpants on. So that's why I don't wear them all that much. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? So definitely invest in good gear. You know, you can replace your gear, but you cannot replace your life. This bump's so awkward. Oh, fuck. I was wondering when my exhaust pipe sounded so loud. It's because it's hanging off. I think I need to go home and fix this. I don't think I have any bolts to put in it. I made a video a few days ago that I haven't posted yet. I don't know if I'm going to post it anytime soon. But basically I just, Jesus fuck. I basically just cleaned my bike and fixed my fairing down here, fixed my exhaust pipe a bit. But I think I forgot to tighten all the bolts when I put it on. They are stripped and rusted, so I put them on like, I don't necessarily do it one by one, but whenever I do put them on, I put them all on lightly and then I tighten them. But I think I forgot to tighten them all completely, so they all fell out. I had one in there that I know for a fact I tightened completely, but it seems to be gone. Anyway, back to the video. Look, off topic. ADD squirrel. Now then, so you've got all of your gear, right? You got your bike, you got your MSF course done. Now what? Go for a ride. It's gonna feel amazing. You know, it's your first real ride. You're gonna be extremely excited. You know, nothing's gonna feel any better than when you take your first ride on your bike. I can guarantee you that being on a bike is like being on a constant roller coaster, right? So you can pay to go to a theme park for a few hours or ride roller coasters, or you can get a bike, you know? So go for that ride. Now, keep in mind all these things. When you are on a bike, assume that everybody is trying to kill you. Now, this is something that you will hear a lot. You know, maybe you have friends that ride, family that ride, or the MSF instructor tells you, but assume everybody is trying to kill you. Now, it might seem like an exaggeration, and no, people don't get out on the road and see a motorcyclist and think, oh, let me run into them because I don't like them. No, that's not the thing. It's you assuming they're going to kill you, is you just preparing yourself for the fact that at any given time, they could in fact kill you. So you gotta drive, or you gotta ride more defensively on a bike than you would drive. Now that doesn't mean don't speed, right? I think the common misconception with that is that people think that that means don't speed, and then they think, well, all bikers that I see speed, so why would I not speed? No, that does not mean don't speed. It just means treat it like everybody's going to kill you, right? So any car that you see, like this truck right here, I have to assume that at any given time, he could not see me, turn into my lane, and hit me. That means I have to be prepared, or I have to be prepared for the fact that he could hit me. This car right here, I have to be prepared for the fact that he could hit me. Every single driveway that you see, you have to check. You have to make sure that nobody is coming out of it, whether it's an animal, whether it's a person walking, or whether it's somebody driving. You have to make sure that it is clear. This driveway here. Now you gotta also make sure that this car isn't gonna turn into the driveway right next to you, turn across you or into you. So you have to prepare yourself for all that. So that means look. Just open your eyes and look, right? Now, another tip is look where you want to go, right? Don't look at the ground. Don't look down there at the ground, because that is where you're going to go. Wherever you look is where your bike is going to travel. I'm scared, guys. The only thing holding this on is the small clamp. So look where you want to go, right? when you're taking a turn, and this is especially for taking turns, do not look at the ground right there. Do not look at the trees over there. Do not look at the curb. Look where you want to go. Look ahead of everything. If I want to travel home right now in this direction, then I have to look ahead. I cannot be looking down at my bike. I can't be looking at the floor. You know, you see what happens? My bike starts to move. So when I start looking in different directions, that is when my bike starts to go in a different direction as well. So when you're taking a turn and when you're riding in general, make sure that you're looking to where you want to go and not just looking anywhere, because your bike will travel in the direction that you are looking. So target fixation is the biggest problem with beginner riders. I'll admit that I used to do it quite a lot as well. Now, the day that I started looking where I wanted to go and not where I was the day that I actually started being able to corner at like 60 miles per hour, maybe 50 miles per hour. Before that, I would be going to like 30 miles per hour, getting close to curbs. You know, I'd be way over here, or I'd be in the middle, or I'd be crossing over lanes. But as soon as you stop that, as soon as you start looking to where you want to go, that is when you will start being able to turn better, when you'll start being able to ride better, and when you will become a better rider. So keep that in mind. That is one of the most important rules to riding. Look where you want to go, not where you're going, right? Do not target fixate. Do not look at other things. Only focus on what you want to do, where you want to go. Now, with that being said, if I'm constantly looking up and ahead to where I want to go, it gives me a greater field of view, right? So that car in that medium right there, that does not mean do not pay attention to that car. That means look ahead and keep your peripheral focused on that car. I can keep my peripheral focused on these medians, these driveways, everything, whilst also looking ahead of the cars in front of me at where I want to go. Oh, alright, next tip. This is something I feel strongly about. That is wheelies, right? But there are YouTubers out there that go around and they do 12 o'clock wheelies, standing up straight all the time, right? One-handed, 1 foot, standing on the seat, standing on the tank. That is fucking stupid. Why would you do that? That is literally stupid. There is no other word to describe that other than stupid. If you do that, I believe you are generally stupid. Now, I just said stupid now 5 times because I want to engrave in your mind that wheelies are stupid. Now, that is doing the clutch ups where you go and you lift your bike way up in the air. I'm not saying do not speed and do little wheelies where you come off the ground a little bit and then it comes back down nicely. Yeah, you can do that. Go for it. If you watch MotoGP at all, you'll see that anytime that they accelerate, they do a wheelie like that, you know? Their front wheel will come off the ground. Now, it's not a lot. Sometimes it comes maybe a foot off the ground, sometimes maybe 2 feet. But at the end of it, it is a controlled wheelie. It is a wheelie that the bike wants to do. It is because you gave that bike enough power to give that wheel a lift. Now, pulling in the clutch, revving it really hard, and then dropping the clutch and lifting the bike up is not a good wheelie. A, it's dangerous, it's uncontrolled, it is only you controlling it, and B, when you come down that hard, it ruins your suspension, it ruins your wheels, it ruins your bike. It is utterly stupid. So, if you've got a big bike, you know, you've got a 600 or you've got a 1000, and you accelerate really fast, and that front wheel comes off the ground, don't think you're stupid. That's just natural for the bike. That's something that the bike wants to do, you know? It is a controlled wheelie. The bike's not going to kill you for it, and you're probably not going to kill yourself. Power wheelies give for some really good action shots. Maybe you want to do a photo shoot, you know, stuff like that. Those are cool wheelies. Doing clutch ups, that's not cool. Don't do it, it's not cool, it's stupid. Now this next one, like I said at the beginning, there might be a little bit of hypocrisy in this video. this is something that I don't do. Although I did, good job, dumbass. I did read online that it is something good to do, and yeah, in my opinion, it is something that you should probably do. That is pre-ride inspections, okay? So generally, every time you go on a ride, that means check your bike over real quick, make sure it's fine. Now, I don't do this because it's time consuming. You know, that could take 10 minutes every time you go out for a ride. I ride every day, every time I go out. So if I go to the store and I come out and I want to do a pre-ride inspection before I leave my house and then before I leave the store, that's time consuming. I don't want to do that. So I don't do it. Every now and then I will check like my oil level, my brake fluid, stuff like that, my brake pads. But I would definitely recommend every now and then checking your fluids, checking your brake pads, checking your chain, all that crap. Because at the end of the day, that's the stuff that makes your bike run the way it runs. If you got a terrible chain, your bike's gonna run terrible, you know? It could snap off. If you got a terrible exhaust, you could find yourself looking back at it every 2 minutes you're riding just to make sure it's still there. So definitely not necessarily do a pre-ride inspection every time you ride, but look it over, you know? Take that time sometimes just to give it a quick look over. Make sure your oil level is fine, make sure it's still a nice color, make sure your brake fluid's fine, your brake pads aren't warped, your chain's still lubricated, it's not rusty, it's not loose, it's still nice and tight. So I recommend doing that. Now, that also goes with your tire pressure. So make sure you know what your tires should be at. There should be a sticker on your swing arm that says for both front and rear tires. Now, a lot of people won't go off of manufacturer recommendations. They'll go off of recommendations online. Maybe sometimes they'll write two up, so you gotta have either more or less pressure for what you want to do. So inspect your tires. Also make sure that they're not chicken scratched. Make sure that there's no holes in them, no punctures. Make sure that the tread's still fine, you know? Get a nickel and stick it in there, make sure it's still a good depth. That's it for this video, guys. I gotta go home and fix my exhaust. But like always, like, comment, subscribe.